Good day everyone, especially to our instructor, Mr. Gamali. Good day sir. By the way, I am Judah Maika Ibanez Ramonal, a BS2 Criminology student in Misamis Oriental Institute of Science and Technology. So, for today's video, I'm going to discuss the chapter 1, Photography Definitions, Historical Background, and Principles. So again, good morning. I'm going to discuss the chapter 1, Photography Definitions, Historical Background, and Principles. We have a photography. We have number 1, literal definition. The word photography is derived of two Greek words, phos, which means light, and graphia, meaning write. Therefore, photography best translates to write with light in Herschel in 1939. There are two versions on the root words or origin of the word photography. Photography is derived from the Greek word phos or photo, meaning light, and the word grapho, which means to draw. Literally, therefore, photography is a drawing with light. The other version, the second word, is graphia, which means to write or literally to. Photography is the writing with light. The word grapho is found in two books: the Encyclopedia of Practical Photography, published by Eastman Kodak, Rochester, New York, USA in 1979. And the other book, Photographic Evidence, Its Theory and Practice, by Charles C. Scott West, publishing in St. Paul, Minnesota, USA in 1976. The word graphia appears in the book The Practical Methodology of Forensic Photography by David Red Seeker, CRC Press, Washington, D.C., USA in 2001. Personally, the word grapho, meaning to draw, is more appropriate than the word graphia, which means to write, because photographic subjects range from places, persons, and things, so it is more wide-ranging in subject matter, while in graphia, Webster Dictionary describe to write is a combining of letters to form a word. In applications, this will be limited to handwriting in questioned document examination and other writings like label, title, and etc. Next, we have the modern definition. Our first is the literal definition. So next, we have the modern definition. Photography, modern definition in the photography is an art or science which deals with the reproduction of images through the action of light upon synthesized materials. With the aid of a camera and its accessories and the chemical process involved therein in Aquino 1972. Next, we have technical or legal definition of photography. Modern photography may be defined as any means for the chemical, thermal, electrical, or electronic recording of the images on synthesized materials or objects formed by some type of radiant energy, including gamma rays. This definition is broad enough to include not only the conventional methods of photography but almost any new process that may be developed. Scott in 1975. Next, we have the police photography. So, police photography is an art or science deals with study of principles of photography, the preparation of photographic evidence, and its application to police work. Aquino 1972. Next, we have first we have the photography, second we have the police photography, and third we have the forensic photography. So what is the difference between these three? So in photography, you take arresting photographs. In police photography, you take photographs of the arrested. So it is difference. So in forensic photography, sometimes referred to as police photography. So it is the same in police photography, but not at all. Forensic imaging or crime scene photography. That's what the difference between the three. So let's move on. Next, we have historical evolution of forensic photography. A, we have the basic components of photography. First, number one, we have the light. Light, the days of creation. So if you read the Bible, we in Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 to 3. As I remember, Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. So in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw the light was good. And He separated the light from the darkness. So He separated the light and darkness. God called the light day. So God, He called the light day. And the darkness, He called it night. So we have day and night. And there was evening and there was a morning. The first day. Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 to 3. Next we have equipment in 1700. As you can see, there is a picture. That's a camera obscura. The portable camera obscura, Latin for dark chamber, was used by artists or painters to get accurate perspective of natural scene and skill for their subjects. Next, we have chemicals 1726 to 1777. Light sensitively of silver, nitrate and silver chloride solution was discovered and investigated. In 1800, Thomas Wedgwood and Humphrey Davy produced photograph. Next, we have true photography. In 1839 is generally known as the birth year of photography. William Henry Fox Talbot explained a process he had invented, a calotype, at the Royal Society of London. As you can see in picture, that is a calotype. The calotype used paper with its surface fibers impregnated with light-sensitive compounds. So that is calotype. Next, Louis Jacques Mandy Dacquerre made a public demonstration in Paris daguerreotype in collaboration with Joseph Niepce for Niepce. The daguerreotype formed an image directly on the surface of a metal plate. So that was a daguerreotype. Next. With Talbot's calotype, the fixation was only partial, while Dacquerre's daguerreotypes images were made permanent with the use of hypo. So calotype is, if you can take a picture, it is a partial or it is not a permanent. While daguerreotypes is a permanent because it use of hypo. In 1848, Abel Niepce de Saint-Victor introduced a process of negatives on glass using albumen or egg white as binding medium. In 1850, Louis Desiré Blanquart Evard introduced a printing paper coated with albumen to achieve a glossy surface. In 1851, Frederick Scott Archer he published a wet plate process when collodion, a viscous liquid that dries to a so flexible and transparent film replaced albumen. In 1885, guillotine emulsion printing paper was commercially introduced based films in 1889. During this time, the cameras were crude. the lenses could not form a true image, and the sensitive materials required long exposures and could not reproduce colors in shades of gray. It was in 1856 when John F. W. Herschel coined the word photography. In 1861, James Clerk Maxwell researched on colors, while in 1890, fall-corrected lenses were introduced. In 1906, a plate was placed on the market that could reproduce all colors in equivalent shades of gray. In 1907, luminosity colors process was introduced. A polychromatic film was used but with blue, green, and red filter. In 1914, U.S. man Kodak made a color subtractive process called Kodachrome. In 1935, color process came out together with electronic flash. Next, in 1947, Edwin H. Land introduced Polaroid, the one-step photography. In 1960, laser was invented, making possible holograms, three-dimensional pictures. In 1988, the arrival of true digital cameras. So, 1988, the arrival of true digital cameras. The first true digital camera that recorded images as a computerized file was likely the Fuji DS-1P of 1988, which recorded to a 16 MB internal memory card that used a battery to keep the data in memory. This camera was never marketed in the USA. So, the first digital camera is the Fuji DS-1P of 1988. Next, Next, we have the Kodak DCS-100 in 1992. The first commercially available digital camera was the 1992 Kodak DCS-100. It used a 1.3 megapixel sensor and was priced at $13,000. Next is the first consumer camera with a liquid crystal display LCD on the back was the Casio QV10 in 1995. As you can see, that was the Casio QV10 in 1995, first consumer camera with liquid crystal display or LCD. Next, we have the Kodak DC-25 in 1996. The first camera to use compact flash was the Kodak DC-25 in 1996. The Kodak DC-25 is the first camera to use a compact flash. Next we have Nikon D1, a 2.74 megapixel camera, was the first digital SLR with a price of under $6,000. This camera also introduced the 300D camera, also known as digital reveal. A 6 pixel and the first DCLR priced under $1,000 to consumers. Next, we have the criminal application. The history of forensic science and criminal investigation is both rich and exciting. The discoveries and observations of our predecessors are likewise surprising and comforting. The great men and women who paved a path of enlightenment in crime investigation continue to teach us long after their deaths. These are the aspirations that we should aspire to endow. We are fortunate to work in a profession with a strong foundation and a bright and seemingly endless future. Thomas W. Other, editor, The Scene. As you can see in picture, that was the Bashful model in 1873. Next we have in 1854, an Englishman, Maddox, developed a dry plate photography eclipsing the Keres wet plate on 10 method. This made practical the photography of inmates for prison records. In 1859, in the United States, one of the earliest applied forensic science was in photography. It was used to demonstrate evidence in a California case. Enlarged photographs of signature were presented in a court case involving forgery. In 1864, Odell Birch first advocates the use of photography for the identification of criminals and the documentation of evidence on the scene. So 1864, that was the first advocates to use a photography for the identification for criminals and the documentation on evidence on crime scene. Next we have early photographs of accused and arrested persons were beautifully posed as example of the Victorian photographers at 20 to 30 years. Later, every major police force in England and the United States has rogues galleries, full face profile and full body shot. In Europe and the United States had Ragus galleries. Photographs of criminals became an integral part of almost all police departments. In police force in England and United States, if they shoot or shot a camera on a criminal, it was full body, while now half only, but side to side. Next we have in 1982 Alphonse Bertillon, who initiated anthropometric measurements for personal identification, was also involved in various means of documentation by photography, which developed into a fine science for criminalistics when he photographed crime scenes and formulated a technique of contact photography to demonstrate erasures on documentation. In 1932, Dr. Ries, a German scientist trained in chemistry and physics at Lausanne University in Switzerland. He contributed heavily to the use of photography in forensic science and established the world's earliest crime laboratory that served the academic community and the Swiss police. His interests included photography of crime scenes, corpses, and blood stains. He made a trip to Brazil in 1913, where his experience in criminalistics was presented to the Western Hemisphere for the first time. In 1910, Victor Baltazar developed a method of photographic comparison of bullets and cartridge cases, which act as an early foundation of the field of ballistics. Victor Baltazar, professor of forensic medicine at Sorbonne, used photographic enlargements of bullets and cartridge cases which act as an early foundation of the field of ballistics. Next, we have the legal foundation of forensic evidence. Number 1. For black and white photographs. In 1859, the karyotype was in a civil case. Loyo versus United States, 23 Howard 515, to decide on the authenticity of photographs in comparing signatures. In 1874, in a criminal case introducing photograph as identification evidence, under Zook versus Commonwealth 26/354. So, it is in 1874 a photograph as identification as evidence. Next, we have for color photographs. In 1943, civil litigations Green versus City and County of Denver, 3 Colo 390 142 P2 D2 227, involving color photography of spoiled meat in violation of a health ordinance prohibiting the sale of butchered meat to the public. While in 1960, in criminal case State versus County 157,250 A to D81, showing the graphic wound of the victim. Next, we have criminology education. In 1902, Dr. R.E. Reis, professor at the University of Lausanne, Switzerland, set up one of the first academic curricula in forensic science. His forensic photography department grew into Lausanne Institute of Police Science. In 1950, August Vollmer, chef of police of Berkeley, California, established the School of Criminology at the University of California, Berkeley. Paul Crick presided over the major of criminalistics within the school. In 1954, in the Philippines, the school, which pioneered criminology education, is the Plaridel Educational Institution, now the Philippine College of Criminology at 6401 Cell Santa Cruz, Manila. Last, we have the principles of photography. Different authors of photography books have different approach in explaining the principles of photography, but to our mind, the one expounded by attorney Avelino Aquino in his book Police Photography, Its Principles and Practice, is the best articulated. A photograph is a mechanical and chemical result of photography. To produce a photograph, light is needed aside from sensitized materials. Lights reflected or radiated by subject must reach the sensitized materials, while all other lights must be excluded. The exclusion of all unwanted and unnecessary lights is achieved by placing the synthesized material inside a camera. The amount of light on the sensitized material after exposure is not immediately visible to the eyes. To make the form images visible, it must undergo the developed process. The visual effect that results from the chemical processing is dependent on the quantity and quality of the exposing light. More light will yield an opaque or blank shade on the sensitized material after development. Too little will produce a transparent or white shade. The varying shade of gray will finally form the complete image. So, that was the chapter 1, photography definitions, historical background, and principles. I hope you learned even at small the definition, history, and background of photography. That was be all, and thank you.